Good morning, everybody. Today is Sunday, September 15th. Where's my music? There's no Sam. Can you make believe you're Boston? All right, good morning, everybody. Today is Sunday, September 15th. Actually, it's September 18th.
No,
What's today's
it's
date?
the 15th.
It's the 15th.
1-5.
2013. It's a good thing I have the cards. And you are
Your
watching the
programs,
Gloria
right?
Day show with Bruce and Disco. My name is
Hey.
Paul Discofani, and this is not my good friend,
I am
Bruce
not
Oler.
Bruce.
Bruce Oler is on hiatus today, and this is my good brother,
Good morning.
Tony D. And this is his first ever appearance on the Glory Days show.
Yes.
We've had him on the phone.
No. I was here and I did football cooking. I did tailgate
That's
party.
right. You did. He's done
Yeah.
cooking on our show. That's right. He's never been a co-host
No.
before.
No.
All right, you are joining us on Inravio.com, and we are broadcasting to the world in glorious high definition, but we are focusing on you, Long Island. Normally before the show, we try to highlight about 30 minutes worth of music as we find out what's on Mr. B's iPod. So Christine tried to fill in today for Mr. B, but unfortunately she was thwarted by the
Sam.
the runaway Sam machine that we have here for some reason. It gets a couple of songs in, and then after that, it just starts going, and we just kind of lose everything. All righty, so we do have a call-in number, even though we don't have phones anymore. Everything is controlled by our lovely and talented producer Christine in the booth. And if you'd like to call in, it's 1-855-4-INRAVIO. That's 1-855-446-7284. Oh, look, it's right there.
7284. It's right on the screen.
I
Thank you,
never noticed
Christine,
it
for
before.
that.
It's usually right here below us. All righty. So it's a special show today because we're getting a chance to do it with my brother today.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of excited.
Well, I am too. I just want to forewarn the audience that I am not a sports guy, really.
But you see, our audience knows that we're not sports guys either. It's a ruse.
Okay. I know a little bit. It's like visiting a foreign country, knowing 5 words and 4 of them are the curse words. So you have a very small opportunity where you can use those words, and that's going to happen today with sports. I know, 5 things about sports, and 4 of them probably don't have anything to do with this show.
It's kind of like that Steve Martin routine where he says, he learned a little bit of French and he went to a French restaurant and ordered in French, was so proud of himself, and then they brought him a choux with cheese on it.
Omelette du fromage. Yes, it was a choux with cheese on it.
All righty, so...
Should I do the lineup for today?
Oh, yeah, you get to. This
Okay.
is what we're going to... If
I
you're
get to
new
read
to
the
the
lineup.
Glory Days show today, this is something that we try to do. This is what we're going to try and get to this week.
Okay, here we go. We're going to talk about Oklahoma State University football players mitigating payola from boosters. Should college athletes get paid for playing? The Yankees still in the hunt for the wild card spot.
We'll make Christine's day by talking about the Yankees.
Big Yankee fan. Clip from Jimmy Kimmel Live. Dangerous of twerking. Is that what you call it?
Twerking, that's what they call it. Yeah.
Twerking, okay.
See, we're hip on this show. We know about
You
all
guys
the
do current events,
things.
The current events, yeah.
We know about the twerking.
Tommy Gatto's
We
going to be
may
here
even
today.
twerk on this show. If we
Yeah.
At the end of this show, we'll be twerking.
Let me tell you, if we're twerking, it's going to be something like the Happy Hippos of the Disney Fantasia. And that's
We
what
need
it's
to-
going to be more like.
If you'll agree to come out of that booth and twerk with us, I'll twerk. But you know what? We don't have any twerking music because the Sam doesn't have any twerking music.
That's it, Chuck. If you would have fixed the Sam, we'd
We
be
could have
twerking here
twerked
today.
on the air.
There we go. Tommy Gatto's going to join us today, and we're going to talk about the movie The Spectacular Now.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's playing in theaters near you, but it's playing in one theater somewhere. And
Tommy Gatto likes to pick the obscure indie films. to
Yeah,
talk about. You know
yeah.
what? You could watch regular TV and find out about the new Iron Man and all that stuff, but on this show, you get those indie films.
These indie films, and when he, I saw Tommy, and when he said something about an indie film, and he started to talk about it, I lost track of what was happening because I thought it had something to do with racing. And I didn't even know that indie meant independent films.
Yes, that's what he told me.
And and I think there's something, just inertly wrong with the whole independent film industry. They don't spend enough on advertising. Their budgets are way too small,
Right.
and they're not in all the popular theaters. So that's probably why they're just never going to go
But
anywhere.
according to Tommy, that's the only way to get movies made nowadays. Is that the big
that it?
budget? Everything else has to be this big budget.
Do they all have a message?
explosion.
Is that what it is?
Yes, they all do have a message, but the thing is, you can never tell what the message is because it's cheaply produced and.
And you're trying to figure out where is that shadow coming
Yeah.
from? It's like
You
a
know,
shadow
you
behind
get the little
guy.
microphone
Yeah,
comes
and then
up
the
over-
boom microphone. It's like, what did he say? I don't know. I was looking at this shadow. Okay. Then we're gonna hear from Timmy the Trotter.
Yes.
He's gonna give us his NFL picks for week 2, and he's gonna talk to us about harness racing.
Which he did pretty good again last week. He was 2 for 4, but we made money last week. He's close to $800 plus for the year so
$800
far.
plus. Wow, that's $800 more than Chuck pays us for doing the show.
Well, you know what it is. All the money goes into the production budget.
Is that? And that's why there's a shadow and,
And
a boom hanging down.
we have to keep. These type of sets come at a cost. You don't get this type of TV show when people, when you're doing it out of a basement. That is the problem.
That's right. This is good stuff.
And we have a producer who's got to get paid. Otherwise, she wouldn't be here. Why would anybody be here if they weren't getting paid?
It's for the love of the game.
All righty.
All right.
So thanks for filling in here today. We have fun
problem.
with Mr. B, but Mr. B is out on the beach in Montauk this weekend.
Good for him.
He's celebrating. Happy birthday!
Weather's
to-
good here in New York right now.
Happy
It's,
birthday to Nancy Petschauer, Jimmy
birthday.
Baseball's wife. Jimmy Baseball's been
Ah.
on the show a couple of times. Yeah, we actually had him come in one day. That there is nobody that loves baseball more than that man, and
Yeah.
that's why they call him Jimmy Baseball.
is he like a crazy Met fan, Yankee fan?
No,
or-
he's a Yankee fan, but
Okay.
he is a baseball coach, and he's a developer of baseball talent.
Okay.
The funny thing is, I accidentally worked with him. Not accidentally worked with him. I was working with him after my son James plays. Baseball, but after a while, his baseball team, the Tomcats, went. Kind of the organization kind of went belly up. So we needed to find a team to play with,
Right.
and I contacted one of the other leagues that we played in. And I said, listen, how do I get my son on a team? So he gave me a couple of people's numbers, guys that had kind of what they call an open team.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called him, and we spoke for a few minutes on the phone. And he says, well, I want to talk to you and meet you. He says, because I'm looking for somebody to actually coach the team.
Help coach. Okay.
So I met him in Mulcahy's in Wantor.
Okay.
And we sat and we talked, and everything was really, nice. We kind of felt comfortable with each other.
You didn't say, hey,
No,
you look familiar. Or
not
he
at
said,
all.
"You
We
look
were very
familiar."
comfortable. And maybe, I coached for the whole summer, and after the summer was over, I was talking to Bruce about baseball, and he says, I saw my friend Jimmy the other day, Jimmy Baseball. And he said, but instead of calling him Jimmy Baseball, which he usually does,
Right.
he called him Jimmy Petschauer. I said to him,
Wait a
Jimmy
minute.
Petschauer. He says, yeah. He says, you met him a couple of times at my parties.
Yeah,
out in
those used to have
Central
parties
Iceland.
all the time. Yeah.
And I said, son of a gun, I do know who he is. I said, so I know exactly who he is.
Okay.
So I right after I got off the phone with Bruce, I called Jimmy, and I said, Jimmy, I goes, Paul. He says, hey, how are you? I says, I know who you are. He goes, what do you mean? I says, you're Batman. He says, what? I says, we have a mutual friend, Bruce Oler. He says, "You know Bruce Oler?" I says, "Yeah." He says, "And you know me." And then we start talking, and I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this."
Wow.
And so
We live
happy
on an
birthday,
island.
right?
You're
We
about
live on
to
an
run
island.
into
That's exactly
somebody.
right.
Yeah.
So that's where Mr. Bruce is. But he did provide us with his NFL picks, his 3 NFL picks, which we'll get into when we talk a little bit to Timmy the Trotter
right.
this week. And
Well, we know Bruce and everyone at the party, everyone from yesterday. Yesterday was
Yeah.
the party, right? They're all crowded around their computer this morning
Yes.
in Montauk watching us.
Hello, everybody.
They could be on the beach enjoying the rest of
You
their
could
weekend.
be watching it on the beach
but
if you have a mobile
thank you
device.
for watching us, guys.
Yeah. So, what's been going on with you?
Not a lot, doing a show. Working on my son's car. He bought an old car.
Who? Christopher?
Michael.
Oh, Michael bought another car. Oh, that's right. I
Michael
saw
bought
that
an
car.
old car, and that's why I got this bump on my head.
Where'd that come from? From the car?
A brake shoe from the rear of the car, taking it off. You know what? When you don't work on cars for a living, you could try to do, like, I'm a handy person. I don't know everything, but I could take things apart and put them back together. Unfortunately, sometimes you don't know exactly how they come apart. So there's like 5 springs inside of a brake system. Anyway, I took this one spring out, and all the other springs kind of went boop, 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 and then the brake shoe just crashed right onto my head.
Oh, man.
And okay, so we're gonna fix it.
Well, I saw the car. Reminded me of the
heal.
Chevy Chase Vacation. Show.
Exactly right.
It's got paneling on the side.
Yeah,
and
it's an
stuff.
old wagon here. It's rusted to hell.
It's a
and
real
we're working on it.
chick-mobile.
It's yeah, it's a cruiser. It's one. We talked a little bit about that. We had seen maybe a '54 or '56 Cadillac with the wings on it and stuff like that.
Daddy had a car like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it was
Uncle
right.
Mario had one too.
Yeah, he had an old Biscayne. Anyway, and he's like, why would you need a trunk so big? And the trunk, I wish I could tell you how big our table is, because it's probably not the table I'm looking at, but it's big. Anyway, the trunk is huge. And I will.
You gotta watch.
Sorry, Christine. So
It just kind of disappears after a while.
but so
It's hard when you're Italian. You have to use your hand. See, that doesn't happen when Bruce is here, because
doesn't wave his hands.
no, Bruce doesn't wave his hands at all.
So the point is, the trunk was so big because you cruised on Saturdays and Sundays. And you took your family out on Saturdays and Sundays, and you went on picnics, and you drove on the southern state where there were no cars, and you went to the free parks, and that's why the trunk was so big, to put your big cooler in and your chairs and all that other stuff. And that's what those cars were built for. And this is an old car, and it's for that purpose. It's big in the back, and it's going to be
Well, this way he
lumbering, and
doesn't
it's
have
gonna
to
go
get his
slow.
regular car dirty.
Yeah.
When he does things, because he likes to go camping and he likes to do stuff like that. So
Yeah. So we lost that in days gone by. Now today your car is everything from your office,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Of course, you commute in it. A lot of people don't take mass transportation anymore.
I have a new car. I have a Buick LaCrosse, and I bought a desk at Furnikit. And I couldn't get it in the car. I couldn't get it in the car because it's a partial hybrid. So part of my trunk, you know how like your back seat
Is your car a
folds down?
partial hybrid?
Yeah. You
So
know how
it
your
has a
back
battery
seat,
in it?
Yeah, it has battery in the back. So you know how your back seat folds down?
Yeah.
Only half of my back seat folds down. So I can only get something about this wide in the trunk with the back seat down.
Right.
So it was wider than that. So I had to kind of finagle it in the back seat
Let it stick out
in
the
order to
back.
get it to work. I couldn't get it through my trunk. So I have this big, nice luxury car that Shaq
It rides
drives.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Shaq drives the car, and I don't know how Shaq fits in that car, by the way, because
They
at
pour him in there.
At 5'5.5", which is being very generous, I always hit my head on the top of that car. He's a full 2 feet taller than me.
I know exactly how he gets in that car. They say, for $10 million, would you just get into this car? And he was like, sure. What the
And you
hell?
know what? I watched that Shaq commercial, and they do not show him getting in the car. They show him opening the door, and then he's in the car.
Yeah.
They do not show him going like this.
Yeah, they
No,
don't
he's,
show getting out either.
he's not getting.
Exactly
What they
right.
do is they cut a hole in the roof with the jaws of life in order to get him out, and that's how he gets
He goes
out.
in through the sunroof. They lower
It's
him
like
in and they pull him out.
you know, it's like like the Flintstones car. You know, you just
Yeah.
like Dino used to stick his head through the roof, and
Yeah.
that's the only thing I can.
Now you mentioned how tall you are.
5'5.5".
I'm like Christine. I'm 1/16 inch taller than him, about. But anyway, I look at the monitor. I'm still. I still look shorter than him on, and I'm taller than Dan, and I look shorter than him. I'm taller than Dan. I'm taller than Dan. I'm taller than him.
Oh, but he still looks.
But I still look shorter.
Maybe you're sitting in a short chair. Do these chairs go up any higher? Let me see.
No, my chair is
Much
higher. All right.
This is like
We need-
Anchorman.
We need. I know. We need to get to sports and get this show rolling. Otherwise, it'll be like a Dear Dad show where even if we came with something to talk about, we never get to it.
Well, the good thing about this show is we don't have to get to anything because we could always stay on the air for 2 hours, right? Oh,
Are they here today?
they come at 11.
They come in.
They come at 11, so we got to get off.
I'm just gonna stick my glasses on so I could see if anyone's in the chat room today.
No, just
Okay.
us. Oh, no, Macaroni Thursday.
Macaroni. Oh, hi, Macaroni
So
Thursday.
see, your family watches you. My family doesn't watch this show. My family never watches this show.
Hi, Macaroni Thursday. Thanks for tuning in.
I think my wife would rather stick pins in her eyeballs than watch the show. Kevin is never up early enough to watch the show, and James this week is in Massachusetts this week. He went to the
game.
He went to the Jet game Thursday, the Jets and Patriots Thursday night, and then they stayed for the weekend. And
You want to talk a little bit about the Jet game?
Yeah, we can talk about Jet game. When Tommy Gatto comes on, he's going to want to say something because he is a Jet fan, Tommy.
Oh, okay.
And he is a Geno Smith
He's
fan.
he's a Longhorn fan as well.
He's a not
Texas-
a long, hook 'em
Tex-
horns. Yeah, is that Longhorns?
Texas
Yeah.
Longhorn fan as well.
So I actually spent time with Bruce. We went to the game Thursday night. Not went to the game. We talked about the game. We went to go watch the game Thursday night, and it was
Thursday.
absolutely a winnable game. It was absolutely a game that they could have.
the Patriots
and
didn't
probably
want to
should-
win that game.
No, the Patriots are not good.
No.
There are 4 teams in the AFC East. Okay, there's New England, which is always good. There is Miami, which is usually bad, but this year they spent a lot of money in the offseason to help themselves out. They filled a lot of holes, so
Is
they're
Parcells
probably going to
still
be
working with Miami in some way?
No. He's out of it completely.
Oh, okay.
So then that leaves the 2 worst teams in the AFC East, which are the Jets,
and the
and
Patriots.
Buffalo.
Oh, and the Buffalo.
Buffalo has been horrible
always
for
bad.
years, right? Both of the teams have a rookie starting quarterback who's never played in the NFL. And both of them are not like, the quarterback for Indianapolis, Andrew Luck, came on the scene last year and was fantastic. The quarterback, Colin Kaepernick for San Francisco, took them all the way to the Super Bowl.
Right.
The kid in Seattle, Russell Williams, all the, those guys came as advertised. They came as starting quarterbacks and they were going to be
Right.
great. But both Geno Smith and I believe his name is E.J. Manuel, the kid that was taken with Buffalo, they were not considered franchise quarterbacks that are going to just, come to the thing. So the 2 worst teams, theoretically, at least in the AFC East, if not the entire AFC, are the Jets and the Buffalo Bills. Okay? New England, in week 1, beat Buffalo by 1 point on a last-second field goal. Okay? And they beat the Jets 13-10, in which they had a 13-10 lead at the half.
At the half, yeah.
And,
So they did nothing.
And
in the
Geno
second half.
Smith threw three interceptions in the 4th quarter,
And
and they still
they
couldn't
didn't
get
get
any more points
no
out
points
of it.
out of it.
So, our friend Pete Torgerson came on the air with us, for the football extravaganza, and told us that he really thinks that he's going to end up being that New England's going to end up just at 500. Because
Really?
he says they're expecting nothing out of them because
He's got nothing. He's got no receivers.
They have no receivers. So he
And
says,
Tom Brady's a big baby.
he is. You see him crying all the time.
Unbelievable. You know, I watched the Jet game. Then afterwards, they had something on, and then the channel was just on. Yeah. And they showed something about Tom Brady, and I think they were talking about that he came in as a quarterback for what? Bledlow's?
Drew Bledsoe.
Drew
Bledsoe got hurt.
Right.
The Jets injured him.
Okay.
In like the first or the second game of the year in like 2001. And I remember I was at that game.
Oh, okay.
And you know, we always had a hatred for New England. And when he came in and they brought this guy Tom Brady, and everybody was like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And instead, the Jets actually launched his career.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And of course our guy, just Geno Smith, he's in because our regular guy Sanchez is hurt. Okay, all right. Anyway, point is that they show a clip from that year that he came in, which was 14, 15 years ago. I guess he's been in the NFL. Okay. Yeah. And then he goes to the sidelines, and all he was doing was yelling and complaining about how he threw like 2 incomplete passes or whatever. And I was like, wait a minute. That's just what happened in this game. He was so he's been a crybaby since he started.
From the first, he's always been a crybaby. He always yells. At any time one of his players doesn't catch the ball, he's pointed to the referee. Come on, he's grabbing him. He's holding him. He's just a whiner. Just like Belichick.
Makes me think. Was he like this? You know, like as an 11-year-old in the schoolyard. You know what I mean? Christine, you know where I'm going with this? Yeah, you know, it was like, you know, we would go to the schoolyard, right? And then we draw up teams. So you meet your friends, right? And who were the captains? The best kids.
Right, they're usually the best kids.
They were always the best kids, right? And you know what happens? Like if you play baseball, the guy who is like draws up the team is the best kid. He never puts himself in right field.
No, he's always playing shortstop.
He plays shortstop.
Right, or he pitches. Or...
And the same thing with football. When those guys draw up the team, that guy's the quarterback. You know that's the quarterback.
That's exactly
right. So, you know, you don't catch the ball, he's got someone to blame it on because he's the best kid. So now, fast forward, 20 years or 25 years for him, and he thinks he's the best kid on the field and everyone else sucks. Or stinks.
You could understand him maybe getting upset if you had veteran receivers who run a wrong route. But you're yelling at guys like Julian Edelman. Okay. And you're yelling at these rookie kids because you had a chemistry with Wes Welker, okay? Yeah. You had a chemistry with all your other receivers. All these guys.
No, that guy wasn't out there either.
When you were standing, and you're calling signals and you're looking over to him and he's looking back at you and you guys are on the same page. He knows, even though the play is drawn up to go this way, there's a guy in the way over here, so I'm going to go that way. Okay, he knows that that's what that guy's going to do.
He can wait a millisecond more because he knows when the guy's going to change his route.
So instead,
but they don't have that.
Right. Instead, you've got a guy who's not on the same page with you, and just when he gets the point to make his turn, you got to throw your thing. And that kid's a rookie kid, a guy who's not familiar with you, and says, "Oh, the play says I'm supposed to go here." So the quarterback needs to know. At a certain point in the play where everybody's going to be, because that's where he's looking.
Right.
So if I go here, I don't know how many times, maybe 3 or 4 times in the Jet game, the receiver went this way, but the ball went that way. Mm-hmm. The difference between Tom Brady and the Jets is that when that happens to the Jets, they intercept it and run it back for a touchdown. When it happens to New England, it just falls harmlessly in the field.
This poor guy, Geno Smith, he's out there playing, and everything's new to him, right? The system is new and everything. You would think, and I don't think they did this, but you would think their offensive coordinator would have come up with some super simple game plan, oversimplified game plan.
That's what you would think.
Especially because, the Patriots are like so weakened, and I didn't see that happening.
No, what happened was they were playing a little bit from behind, and he was, quote unquote, trying to make something happen. Now, he said on at least 2 of those interceptions. Yeah, on 2 of those interceptions, he felt that he should have run with the ball, okay, because he's a running quarterback. He saw a lane, he should have run, but instead he waited and didn't run and threw the ball when he shouldn't have, instead of just putting his head down and run. Probably for 2 reasons. Number 1, he didn't want to break away from the play as was written. And number 2, he knows he can't get hurt. Sanchez is out.
Yeah.
Who's going to come in? You got
Sims.
no
They
real
got this
good.
young
I know.
kid.
Matt Sims,
Did you-
Phil Sims'
Did
brother.
you see him? I mean, I've never seen him before. And I was like, he looks just like his dad. It was like weird. It was
Because
like
I
looking
thought-
back 25 years.
I thought
Just different color
he
uniform.
he has another son that played in the NFL, Chris Sims, but he had an alcohol problem, and I thought this was the same one.
Oh, no.
This is a younger brother.
Oh, okay. The older
So
kid
he
had a
had
few
two-
demons, huh?
Yeah, he had
Okay.
two sons that played at one point in the NFL. That's pretty good.
Good for him.
That's pretty good genes, right?
Good for him, yeah.
All righty, this is what we're gonna do.
All
we're
right.
gonna take a
We-
short
We're
break.
going to throw this sheet away because
Throw in
we
the
haven't
sheet.
done one thing on
Well,
it.
no, we're staying on target here.
Oh,
We're
all
gonna,
right.
We'll take a short break. And when we get back, we'll have Tommy Gatto on the phone. We'll talk a little bit more about the NFL because Tommy likes to talk about the NFL. And he wants to talk about the indie film, The Spectacular Now. And later on, we'll talk to Timmy the Trotter, and we'll get his NFL picks and more harness racing tips. Like I said before, Timmy Trotter did pretty good this week. So stay with us, watching the Glory Day Show, Bruce and Disco.
And Tony.
And Tony. We will be right back. Radio.com.
Stop putting it off and start painting it up today at Ben's Paint Station, featuring Benjamin Moore paints, sick-ins, wood finishes, paints, and professional paint supplies, ideal for contractors and homeowners. Stain paints and epoxies, family-owned and operating, in business for over 55 years. Professional and experienced help. Located at 2 locations, 55B Route 25, Coram, Long Island, New York, and 1495 Plaza Montauk Highway, Mastic, New York. Call them at 775-7435 and 775-8135. Ben's Paint Station, featuring Benjamin Moore Paints. Log on to the Inravio advertisers page today.
Inravio.
East End Screen Printing and Embroidery. Shirts for as low as $3 with print. 631-281-TEES. That's 631-281-TEES. 1355F Montauk Highway, Mastic, Long Island, New York. Go to eastendsilkscreenprinting.com for more info.
Inravio. Transmitter? We don't need no stinking transmitter. Welcome to Inravio.com.
Hey, this is Dan Jacobson, the host of Dear Dad. You can listen to me here Thursdays from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. You're listening to Inravio.com, broadcasting to the world.
Alrighty, we are back here at Inravio.com on the Glory Day Show. This is Disco and Tony this morning, Mr. B on hiatus. We've got our good pal Tommy Gatto on the phone, and we're going to talk a little bit about the movie The Spectacular Now, which, do we have that queued up? Yeah. Can we do that? All right, we're going to try and do, we're going to do this movie trailer, take a look at The Spectacular Now. We'll watch it with you, and then when we come back on the other side, we'll have Tommy Gatto on the phone.
I'm going to put my glasses on for
Thanks.
this.
My name is Sutter Keeley. I got everything that I need right here. I've got a job, I've got a car, I've got a beautiful girl. I was the life of every party. You gotta live in the moment. It's about this. This is beautiful.
Hey. Hey.
Where the hell am I?
Do you live around here, Sutter?
How do you know my name?
You go to the same school. I'm Amy.
That's what I was gonna say. Nice to meet you, Amy. What's your story?
I don't really have any stories.
What do you mean? Everyone's got a story.
By the way, this
I don't
clock
know.
is
I'd
working.
like to think that there's more to a person than just one thing.
You know, I gotta tell you, Sutter, Amy Finicky is just a strange choice for a rebound.
You're 17 years old. You don't have an ex-boyfriend?
No.
Really?
Sutter, guys don't look
That's
at me like
shocking.
that. I'm like,
Yeah, absolutely, guys look at you like
No,
that.
no, no.
Amy, you're absolutely beautiful.
oh my God, no.
And if she falls for you, what happens then?
Should we take our shirts off?
My sister, she's having this like fancy dinner party. Would you want to go with me?
Yeah, what time?
It's 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes from now.
Yeah.
I think it's good to have dreams, don't you?
To dreams.
I'll tell you something. I don't live in the past. I live in the now because that's what it's all about.
You know, everyone's telling me I gotta move on. I don't see what's so great about being an adult. Are you happy?
You're not the joke everyone thinks, man.
I love you.
You don't love me.
Yes, I do.
Kind of thought she'd be the one to yank you out of neutral.
You not see that I am bad for you? You need to get away from me.
You have the biggest heart of anyone I know.
I love these people. I do. I love these people. I love you all. This right here, this is beautiful. This is the youngest that we're ever gonna be. This is our time. Live in the now. Cheers.
Cheers.
To you, Amy Finicky.
To you, Sutter Keeley.
Alrighty.
Okay.
And on our phone right now is our resident movie critic, the lovely and talented Tommy Gatto.
Morning, guys.
From Gatto Reels. And you can Google Gatto Reels if you'd like to see some more in-depth movie coverage. Tommy, how are you?
Great. How you guys doing?
Okay, you're on with Mr. Bruce is on hiatus today, and another pal of yours, my brother Tony, is here today helping us out.
Hey, Tom.
How you doing, Uncle Tony?
Good, man. Good.
So tell us about this movie. How you been, first of all?
I've been good. I got my first week of the second year of teaching under my belt. Feel pretty good about where I'm going. So,
Do you have
all
any
in all,
injuries?
Not too bad. I can't complain.
Any injuries?
No.
And are they
did
still
you guys
calling
get
you?
a chance to pull the
Now,
trailer?
is this a different set of kids? Are you teaching the same grade?
Yeah, fourth grade.
So this is all brand new kids. Are they conscientiously calling you Mr. Gatto?
They call me Mr. Gatto. Some people call me Mr. Gatto still.
Mr. Gattosville?
Mr. Ghetto.
Oh, Mr.
Ghetto.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that
I
really
got both of
describes
that.
you.
All right. Well, that's what they say to your face. So,
Yeah, if they say that to your face, that's
and
pretty.
you know what? They're only fourth grade, so they probably just think it's funny.
They're 9.
Yeah, they're 9, so it's not too bad. Hey, you know, I happen to know you guys pretty well, but so here's my question to you: fourth grade. Your mom's also a teacher. Fourth grade. Are you like stealing all her work and stuff, and you know?
I'm not really stealing all the work because our schools use different curriculum, but let's just say especially this morning, if I have questions, I'm going straight to her, so.
Good.
I try to utilize her as much as I can.
That's good. That's good for you. Nice to hear. So we did get a chance to see the trailer on this movie. I watched it intently. I can't tell you what the movie's about. So I don't know if that's, but it did look like something I would see.
You liked it. He actually sent me a message that he thought it was the best movie he saw all year.
Oh yeah. All right.
So tell us why.
Well, this movie, I'll just go off by saying this movie had a limited release. So it was hard. It came out, I think, in like early August, but it didn't really play anywhere until like recently. It didn't play anywhere local until recently. So
Is
I
it
had to,
still in the theaters? I mean, after I spoke to you yesterday, I was like, let me just see where it is, and I couldn't find it.
Right. So maybe it only was out for 2 weeks or so. So, but I'm telling you, this is a movie to search for when it comes out on DVD. I'll tell you a little bit of what it's about and then tell you why it's so good. It's about this kid named Sutter. He's a high school senior, and he's sort of living the high life right now, drinking, partying, has a hot girlfriend, so he's on top, and he knows that this is not going to last past this year. So he's trying to have as much fun while he can. but he meets this girl named Amy, played by Shailene Woodley. If you saw The Descendants, she was George Clooney's daughter.
Oh, okay, that's where I had seen her before. Okay.
Right, she plays a really down-to-earth girl who's smart and funny and sort of nerdy as well. And he kind of gets the vibes that maybe this girl could be something that he needs right now to help him get over some of his obstacles in life, which include not having his dad around and being an alcoholic, although it's not mentioned by name in the movie. Throughout the movie, he's seen drinking all the time. It's not really pointed out, but you see it. So I like the way the director did that. But the way this movie plays out, you may think you know what's going to happen, but it doesn't play out the way that you expect.
So it's not the basic.
A lot of John Hughes movies of the same nature, like The Breakfast Club or Pretty in Pink. This movie dares to go in places where the audience may not be comfortable with.
It's not a predictable
You always want to
movie.
root for the main character, right? And he's very likable. This actor, his name is Miles Teller. He plays this guy. He's very enthusiastic, kind of like a young Vince Vaughn. And he plays him so well, so you're rooting for him to make the right decisions, and he constantly fails. He makes the wrong decisions over and over and over. And you start asking yourself, is this girl really going to stick around that much longer? And it's interesting to see where the movie ends up going, and it's a great film. It really is.
You see, from the trailer, I don't think we got that from the trailer.
No.
You know,
right.
the trailer made it seem like.
The trailer, what did you get from it?
The trailer made it seem like it was a
boy meets girl.
A boy meets ugly duckling girl who nobody knows about. That he's the. It seemed like he was the party guy, and he wakes up on her lawn, and at the end he decides to stay with her.
Right.
That's kind of like what the trailer implied.
That's like the typical coming of age comedy kind of plot that you just laid out, but it doesn't go like that. This movie has a lot of elements that are not given away in previews and trailers or even plot descriptions. I had no idea this movie would have so much about this. Every scene the kid is drinking, and I think that plays a huge role on why this kid keeps making bad decisions. So it's a movie you have to look out for. It's great.
So he's on a
I haven't seen too many
self-destructive.
movies this year in theaters, but it's the best movie I've seen this year so far.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm telling you, this is my highest recommendation.
So keep an eye out for it when it shows up on your on demand or on DVD.
Is that what ends up happening to these independent films? They go to a DVD and they end up at Walmart for $5.99 or.
Exactly, and they try to find an audience. A movie called 500 Days of Summer kind of had the same release, but it kind of caught the eyes of more people because it was a little more flashy. This movie is a little darker, and it's not as fun as that movie, so it kind of stayed under the radar. It's based on a book, so some people that are book nerds or have read the book may go out and search for this, but I think that Hollywood and people in the industry will see these young actors and actresses, specifically the two leads, and I think they're going to go and use this as sort of a place to say, okay, these are legit actors and actresses.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get them in more movies.
Right.
Is this the type of movie that come December we might see getting a nomination somewhere down the road?
The only thing I can see it getting nominated for, because it's not a big movie and it's not catching, it's not really getting a lot of, it's not very popular. So unless it gets popular underground, I could see it getting a nomination for Best Screenplay.
Because it's a good story.
It's a great story.
But it's not one of those things they pull back and then re-release it 6 months from now.
No, I don't think it has enough word of mouth. I don't think it has enough of that.
Right.
All right. So if you give movies thumbs up, which you don't, you would give this one 2 thumbs up.
I would give this one 4 thumbs up
He really likes it. Good.
You got a minute to talk about your pal Johnny Manziel?
Johnny Manziel, yes. Yesterday I was planning my writing unit for the week, and I had the Alabama and Texas A&M game in my room, and I was listening to it, but then I would always, when there was a big play, I would always kind of watch it. Johnny Manziel, even though they lost that game, that kid is unreal.
He is unbelievable. He
Unbelievable.
almost single-handedly won that game
chased.
for them.
I don't know if you saw it. He got chased maybe like 40 yards back. He threw a 40-yard pass, and he only got 12 yards out of it because he got chased all around the
He was being chased out of the pocket. He had almost two guys in his face, and he still heaved it down the field and completed it. He completed a 40-yard pass, but it was only 12 yards beyond the line of scrimmage because he had to go back so far.
Whoa.
But you know what? He had a chance to tackle that guy on the interception.
He didn't want to get
That
into
interception that went return for touchdown.
Right.
He had a chance to tackle that guy.
Well, you don't want your quarterbacks getting hurt.
Yeah, I know, but at that point, you'd come all the way back and you'd throw an interception now that makes it a 2-touchdown lead. That was kind of tough.
True. I mean, he's still got to remember, and a lot of people forget this. This kid's only a sophomore.
Hey, what'd you think, real fast, because we're running out of time here, what'd you think of that fight last night? I know you said you purchased it on pay-per-view.
Yes, I went to Mark's house, and we watched it.
Mayweather, Alvarez.
The fight itself was entertaining, but nothing that I didn't expect played out. I mean, I expected the fight to go exactly the way it did, and Floyd Mayweather is just on a different playing field than anyone else right now in the sport.
He hit on, one of the statistics that they keep is how many punches that you land. He landed 46% of the punch. He had 232 punches. Hey, you know what I don't understand? And I wanted to ask you, since you know a little bit more about the fight. They said Alvarez got down to 150 pounds on Friday to make the weight. But then he was 165 pounds by the time the fight came on Saturday.
Yeah, I think that's water weight when fighters cut down.
Yeah, they said he rehydrated
overnight.
But why would that make you? I mean, shouldn't you at that point be over? You shouldn't be a middleweight then if you're 162 pounds. I thought 160 pounds was heavyweight.
A lot of fighters do this. They cut down enough where they could balloon up, and hopefully they could be bigger than the opponent. And when they land a shot, it's not a middleweight landing shot; it's a light heavyweight landing shot.
I mean, I believe heavyweight is 180 and more.
Floyd Mayweather started out as a super featherweight. People don't know this, but he did. So the classic tradition is to cut down as much as you can so that when you're in the ring, you have an advantage over the other guy. Except this time, Floyd Mayweather was too fast.
Yeah, it didn't seem to help Alvarez at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
And now, so Mayweather makes $41.5 million guaranteed before they add up the pay-per-views.
Yep.
And they had 2.4 million pay-per-views the day before the fight.
Jeez.
The pre-sales were 2.44 million, and I'm sure he's getting a percentage of that. So.
Oh yeah.
I guess somewhere down the road there'll be another fight between these two.
I mean, he won't fight again until next year. But I don't know. I don't know who else can challenge him. I mean, this is it. I don't know anyone else out there.
Why bother fighing if you got $41
exactly.
million?
I mean,
if you got $41 million
contract with the Showtime Network. This was the second fight, so he has a couple more fights to go before.
And you know what? You would think that if you were getting $41 million guaranteed, you go 2-3 rounds, you take a punch, you go down. You collecting $41 million no matter what.
But then again, you don't want to lose on TV.
I guess that's true.
But hey, Tommy,
yes.
How much was this thing for, like, the Showtime to get it or whatever it is?
How much would you?
Yeah, what does it cost? Yeah.
How much do you think he made?
No. What did it cost to order it? If you ordered it from pay-per-view, what was the cost?
Are you saying how much is pay-per-view?
Yeah, what was the pay-per-view price for this fight?
$65.
65. So
wow.
65 times 2.4
million.
Let's call it let's call it $3 million. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a lot of cash.
Everybody made money.
Everyone made money.
Everybody made money. Alvarez, did he make money for getting beat up?
They said that he got between $7 and $9 million guaranteed.
$7 and $9 million.
Yeah, that's pretty good for getting your head beat in for
That's not bad.
an hour and a half or whatever.
You know, that's like 14 billion pesos, though, in Mexico. Yeah.
All righty, T.
All right.
Thanks, man. We will look for this movie. I'm kind of looking forward to it. The last time you turned me on to a really good indie movie was that movie Catfish,
Right.
which I really enjoyed, and so I'm going to be looking out for this one. I saw a
All right,
really
guys.
bad
Thanks for
movie
having me
last night. I saw not bad movie. I saw The Great Gatsby.
Leo DiCaprio, what do you
Yeah,
think?
it really wasn't that good.
Yeah, I heard it's very hit or miss. You either love it or it's very flashy. They have modern music
Exactly.
in
It was real flashy, but you know what I didn't like about it? It took place in 1922, yet all the music sounded like it came out of a 2013 dance club.
Well, Uncle Paul, if you know the director Baz Luhrmann, he's done this throughout his movies, specifically Moulin Rouge. If you've seen that,
Okay.
Okay.
There's numbers in there that doesn't make sense in the timeline.
Did he do that other movie, A Knight's Tale, where they have all the...
Exactly, Knight's Tale as well did that. So some people like it, some people don't. I particularly don't like it. I think
No, because it's
distracting.
supposed to be 19. I mean, you spend all that time and effort and money to use those
Costumes,
cars,
sets.
costumes, sets, everything, even the language. You know, he kept calling the guy old sport and that type of thing. You know, and the music is rap music and electric dance music in his parties.
I guess it's sort of like a marketing ploy, whereas he's trying to expand his audience so that not just like adults can see it, teenagers can see it, and kind of can relate to it based on the music.
Yeah, but I don't know.
It's terrible.
Were they drinking Pepsi?
No, they weren't drinking Pepsi.
I'll have a mojito, please.
All righty, T. Thanks.
Thanks for
We'll
having me
talk.
on,
That's
guys.
Tommy Gatto.
All right.
Check him out on Google Gatto Reels, and you can find him on GattoExpress.blogspot.com. Thanks, T. We'll talk to you later. Oh, he's already gone.
Well, we thank
All
him
right, so
anyway.
now we're going to try and get Timmy the Trotter on the phone, and we can we'll talk a little bit about about football, and we'll talk a little bit about the miserable Mets, and
Okay.
you know they're almost unwatchable now.
Well, I like to say, well, I like the young guys because it's exciting and they play for the love of the game and all that, and it's true. But you do want to see them win once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, you know they
split yesterday, right? Is that what
they
you were
split
saying?
the doubleheader yesterday, and they won on Friday, so that means they're going to win that series. But you know they had Washington come in, and Washington swept all 4 games from them.
Well, they're a good team.
You know.
They're a good team.
And it's just, you know, it's going to be another bad year. It's going to be another year that they don't make it to 500.
Right.
And it's just a little disappointing. I know they had a lot of injuries and stuff, but I guess we're plowing ahead to next year. You know,
You know, they used to have the taglines, you know, you gotta believe, you gotta this. Their tagline is wait till next year.
And it's always wait till next. Actually,
It just
their
happens
tagline
to
isn't
be.
wait till their years. Wait till the year after that. So they're always giving you hope 2 years down the road. All right, is he there?
Okay.
Timmy, you there? Oh wait.
All right, we
Okay,
don't.
Timmy, you there?
Hello, boys. How you
Hey.
guys doing today?
All right.
Hey,
how are
you doing? Have you been watching the show or listening?
Yes. I see you got a special guest in the studio today.
Yeah. We thought that in honor of the Manning Bowl
Yes.
in Giant Stadium today, we would have the Disclafani Bowl here.
Yeah.
And
Good.
so,
The Brothers Bowl.
the Brothers Bowl.
Brothers Bowl. The 2 years. How much brain cells are in there?
Yeah.
Only kidding.
You
Yeah.
know, the
guys
best
been
part
all right?
about the fact that, you know, we've just been hanging out talking all morning, and you know, we're running out of we have a time limit because we have the show that comes on after us. Is
Yes.
you know, you won't get to see us twerking later.
Yeah.
But then again, we don't know what we're going to do in the last 5 minutes of the show. We may just twerk anyway.
Why don't you guys do a duet together in honor of Mr. Big?
Oh, instead of Mr. B's song?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I brought my mouth harp, but I have a cold sore, so I'm not going to be able to do it.
Oh boy, big day today. A lot of games.
A lot of games today. Okay, so last week we did 3 picks last week. You picked 3 games, I picked 3 games, and Bruce picked 3 games. And we all went 2-1, and we all picked different games.
Yes.
So you missed. The only one you missed on was the Cincinnati game.
Yeah, and they were up. There's no excuse for them to lose that
Right.
game.
Bruce missed on the Tampa Bay game. I'm sure a lot of people got eliminated out of their survivor pool with Tampa Bay that week.
Yeah, that
against the
well,
Jets.
Well, that's good for the Jets, but
And I missed with Washington last week.
Yeah, Washington. I like Washington too. I didn't pick them, but I like that game. That could have went to this.
So there's a lot of really good games. Probably the most interesting one from a play standby is probably the the Giant game. So let's just, before we get, what we like to do is like to talk about the Jets and Giants.
Yeah.
And then we pick whatever games we want. So since the Jets have already played, obviously, I think Las Vegas took a bath on that game, with New England winning just by 3 points. What did you, when you're watching that game, did you have the feeling that the Jets? I mean, you had the feeling that the Jets could win that game.
Yes, absolutely.
But did you just feel that that the Patriots just really stunk?
Yeah, well, it's 2 offenses that were very inept, to say the least. They just, it was just a matter of who. I thought what defense was going to make a play running back for a touchdown, because the offenses were horrible.
I mean, New
Brady
England
was
drove
so
down the
pissed
field
off, forget
for in the first 2 drives without any resistance at all. Did the Jets make changes, or was it just that New England just started falling apart?
No, to be honest with you, you're watching a Jet game in New England, and they were doing. What they should have stuck with was the ground game. If you were watching that, they were picking up 4.5 yards, 5 yards carry on the
Jets,
offense,
yeah.
Running the ball. They should have stuck with running the ball. They
Why
would
would
have
they?
a better chance of beating New England if they ran the ball. I mean, the offensive line was doing a great job against New England's defensive line, and he got away from it too quickly.
Right. And with
They
the
were
new
doing-
quarterback.
that's where they had a chance to beat them.
Right,
Not
new
on
personnel, new
Smith
quarterback.
Because they had no
What's safer than running?
You see the receivers that you
They
had.
can't catch the ball.
They can't.
They really can't catch the ball.
It was horrible. You could have took anybody off the street and did the same kind of job as those guys that are professionals, so-called getting.
Now, I mean, granted, I'll give them a little bit in that second half because the ball was wet and all that. But you know what? The New England receivers caught the ball.
Yeah. Well, 1 or 2 of them did. They had a couple of.
Yeah, he was throwing behind them. They were all, their
Jets
routes
should
were all
have ran the
screwed
ball.
up.
They were doing a great job. By the end of the first half, they had 5 points something average yards per carry. They were running the ball on New England. Keep it out, grind them. They, especially towards the end when they had a chance, they were on 25, 26, what was it, 36-yard line when he got sacked. They lost. They had a chance to tie the score at the end of the game.
Yeah.
They should have ran that ball instead of having him throw it.
All right, so let's talk about the Giants real fast. You have the Manning Bowl. This will be the Giants in Denver are the 4 o'clock game this afternoon. Denver's a 5-point favorite. This will be the 3rd time that they've played on the field together, and it's got to be fun, for them. When you were talking,
they're very competitive, but they're close. They're brothers.
we were talking about Archie Manning.
You guys get into different things. Having fun about it, but I'm sure they do the same. You see the commercials they have, and all. They're close.
Oh,
When
yeah.
it gets on the field, they
NFL plays it up.
competitive.
Yeah, NFL plays it up and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and then,
yep.
car commercials, all kinds of stuff.
All commercials there.
But what do you do if you're Archie Manning, right? I mean,
Well,
you're
neutral.
probably going to go to the
You've been through it
game.
before, You've been through it plenty of times before. You're neutral. You sit on your hands and you root for both
And
of
you
them
root
to
for
do
them
well.
both, That's
Well,
just
do you
what you do.
do you put do you wear one of those jerseys where it's half and half?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Paint your face,
Yeah.
half and half.
Or maybe you wear one jersey, your wife wears the other
Yeah.
jersey, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing, He has 2 sons that are elite quarterbacks. That's something special.
Right.
In the NFL, it really is.
Right.
And
I like
when
the
they
Giants,
interview
to be
them,
honest.
they always talk about the 3rd brother, who they say was a better quarterback than both of them.
Yeah.
But he never.
Well, I think was he a lawyer or a doctor?
He decided to go a different route in college.
Yeah, you got a different route.
So who do you like in
Probably
that
have
game?
A long career being a lawyer or a doctor, whatever he is, then they'll have playing football. But in the meantime, the Manning brothers are phenomenal. They really are. They, it could be a toss-up. I only like the Giants because they're home today. I mean, I think the Giants are going to beat them today.
Well, they have to show up better than they showed up in Dallas.
Yeah.
The game was just horrible to watch. Did you see who they brought in? The Giants. They brought back their running back, Brandon Jacobs.
Yeah, Brandon Jacobs. I don't even think he'll play today, but
That guy, Brandon Jacobs, right? I think he's the Giant leading scorer for a running back, right?
Yeah.
He leaves as a free agent to go to San Francisco last year.
Yeah.
And was a complete bust. He carried the ball, 7 times last year?
Yeah.
And then they released him.
I just think they brought him in because he had more familiarity of teams than the other couple of guys they brought in, Joe McKnight and somebody else.
So you don't think he gets on the field?
The thing about him is the thing he could do, he's such a big body. I don't know how much he'll run the ball, but he will if he gets in, pass protect, block back there for Manning. That's what they need him for, to pick up the blitzes. And
All right, so give me 3 games that you like this week.
Yeah. 3 games I like. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was a couple of games that stood out to me today. I just love New Orleans at Tampa Bay. I love the team. I actually think Jacksonville's pretty bad. I actually think the Raiders are going to win today.
Wow, you see, I would be afraid of that game because that game I tried to stay away from.
Well, I have a pride. He did a couple of good things at quarterback. I think he's going to be okay, I know there are 2 teams that stink. They're 2 probably lower echelon teams. They're going to win maybe 3 or 4 games each, but one of them's got to win. And I think it's the Raiders because they're going to be home. I like the Raiders today.
All right, give me another one.
And also, my other pick was I love the Ravens today at the Browns. I think the Browns are one of the worst teams too. He got intercepted 5 or 6 times last week. 6 turnovers. I just love the Ravens. I can't see them going 0-2. I love the Ravens.
All right, so you like the Ravens over Cleveland, you like Tampa Bay over New Orleans, and you like, what was the third
I like
one?
New Orleans over Tampa Bay.
Oh, and Oakland over Jacksonville.
And I like the Raiders over going into the black hole.
Right. All right, so Mr. B, by the way, from the beach out in Montauk, Mr. B told us last week he was taking New England against the Jets, so we gave him credit for that.
Yeah, we give him credit.
But he also took 2 of the exact same games you did. He likes Baltimore and he likes New Orleans. I'm going to go in a completely different direction. I like Houston this week. I like Houston over Tennessee for whatever reason.
That's a good game, yep.
I also like Atlanta over St. Louis.
Yeah, that's my knockout pool pick with soccer.
That's your knockout this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like, I'm also taking Cincinnati over Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think Cincinnati's going to put on a show at home.
Yeah. Cincinnati, very strange last week how, they just let that game slip away last week. I listened to my wife all day when they were up by,
Well, you know what? I like Chicago today anyway.
Yeah.
Over Minnesota. All right, now last week you hit 2 last week, 2 out of 4 last week, so you're up at around 48 or so %, and we hit 2 winners, so we came up with a profit of $23 last week.
Okay, better to win than lose.
That gives us $771 for the year.
Very good. Well,
So no matter what you did from here on in, unless you lost your mind, we should have a profit for the end of the year.
You shouldn't say that. We could be like the Mets. The September swoon. I might have to yeah. Too.
Mathematically,
listen, we want to have meaningful picks in December from you.
Oh boy, it's tough to watch.
All right, who do you like this week?
Okay, we'll start at Monday at Monticello. In race 9, we'll box at 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4. Okay.
We'll go to Tuesday at Monticello. In race number 1, we'll box at 1, 3, 4.
1, 3, 4. Okay.
We'll go to the 9th race at Monticello on Tuesday, and we'll box at 1, 4, 5.
1, 4, 5.
And for our Yonkers players on Tuesday in race 7, we'll box at 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, easy peasy. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, does anybody listening out there, you can get tickets for the Mets, very cheap these days. You can
Very
get a seat.
cheap.
You could actually get a seat cheap there. You want to go see them play.
I'm actually looking
they had
at.
about 3 people in the stands.
We're looking to get. There's an afternoon game.
Boy.
This week. There's an
Don't
afternoon
tell me
game
you're
this
gonna
week
go.
against I forget who it is. I think it might be San Francisco. And
I'll see San Francisco.
I'm sure we can get a ticket for $5 this week.
I bet you can get it. Go on StubHub. I bet you can get a ticket for $5 is right.
They're doing just about everything. They're
please.
giving stuff away. They actually have Seinfeld in the booth this week coming.
Oh,
I
they
think.
do. That's a good.
Yeah,
I want to
with
listen to that.
Hernandez. Yeah, they're just trying to get people to tune in. They're
You know what? I
lowering
would
ticket
watch it
prices,
because
giving
Seinfeld
stuff
and
away.
Hernandez are going to be in the booth together.
Yeah.
It's so bad. You see WFAN dropped them after this
Yeah, after 20-something years, since 1986, WFAN, they're not going to be on WFAN now.
Oh, where are they going to go? Channel
I don't know.
13 or
They're talking about maybe going to ESPN.
Oh, really?
Either ESPN or they said WOR.
Yeah. ESPN, the Spanish channel, or
Yeah.
ESPN regular?
Los Mets.
Los Mets.
That's what you're going to hear, but now, oh, please.
All right,
Doesn't
one
get no
one
worse.
quick thing because we're running out of time. One
Okay.
quick thing. Are the Yankees making the playoffs?
The Yankees make no. I don't
Okay.
think so.
I hope so.
I don't think so. I really don't. I think the
All right.
Yankees
You
got-
hope they don't.
They can't make the playoffs.
Oh.
Otherwise, I owe my niece's boyfriend $100.
Oh boy. I think
Polino?
the injuries just keep on a daily basis. Somebody else gets hurt, And but I don't think they got enough pitching.
Nah, they don't.
The pitching-
I just hope they don't make it because I would hate to see them make it and then go out real early.
Yeah, I just don't think they have enough pitching, to be honest.
It's just not. Jeter played 17 games the whole year.
Yeah.
Kinda
No,
difficult.
everybody, Gardner's out, and A-Rod's starting to move around real slow again. But the fact is, I don't think they have the pitching. They don't have no pitching. Well, they have pitchers, but they just, I don't know what happened to them.
All right, Timmy, we got to go.
All right, guys, you guys be well.
All right, man. Thanks.
Thanks.
That is
Thanks, Tim.
our good friend Timmy the Trotter. So we're out of time, my friend. My brother.
That's it.
That's it.
Went fast.
He ain't heavy anymore. He's my brother.
He's my brother. So are we going to get to our tweaking?
We're not
What do
getting
we
to
call it?
anything. We're going to have to just say closing thank yous and get
Twerking?
out of here.
Okay. All right.
We got to say thanks to our producer, Christine Palmer
Thanks,
from
Christine.
Backwater, which beginning in October will be airing every Saturday from 7 to 9 p.m. right here on Inravio. I want to thank my brother Tony for helping out today.
Thanks.
This was greatly appreciated. You can catch Tony and Dan Jacobson on the Dear Dad program on Thursday nights here, 6:30 to 7:30. And if they're not on live, you could always check them out on the replays. Thanks to Tommy Gatto and Timmy the Trotter once again this week for helping us out. Thanks for Chuck and Bonnie for putting up with this nonsense week after week. So stay right where you are for Code Red Fantasy Football. With co-host Mike, the Admiral, Kevin, and Daryl. Is that everybody today? Right? Darren. Darren, like Darren Stevens. Durwood. All right, immediately following Glory Days. So thanks, everybody. Thank you again, man. And we will see you all next week. Thanks.